Happy Halloween, everyone, and happy Samhain to those of you who celebrate Samhain. Welcome to this week's edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Yes, very happy Halloween to those of you who are watching on the day that I'm actually releasing this to members on Thursday, 31st of October. And a very happy All Saints Day to all of you who are watching this on Friday. And I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching, for tuning in, and a big thank you to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much for your support to Miskatonic Books. Miskatonicbooks.com are a fantastic resource if you want to find difficult to find occult books. Maybe they were published abroad, maybe they were published in very small runs of maybe 100 copies, or maybe sometimes just as few as 5 or 6 copies. Miskatonic Books are the ones who are most likely to be able to get their hands on such volumes for you. So do go and check out miskatonicbooks.com. You'll find some fantastic recent releases and some great pre-orders as well, some exclusive pre-orders. For example, the leather-bound Styx edition of the Hekate, which is looking gorgeous, really, really good looking. And then sometimes you'll find a book that you've never heard of, like the Necromantia Sorcery, The Art of Commanding the Dead by Sean Fricks. I've never heard of this one. So yes, always some surprises on the miskatonicbooks.com website. And from time to time, they publish their own books. And this is a look at the deluxe edition of the 10th anniversary edition of Gateways Through Stone and Circle. And you'll be able to see that it comes with this lovely slipcase, and look how beautiful that looks all together. Very, very nice edition indeed. So go over to miskatonicbooks.com and have a look at what they've got. You might be tempted. Okay, let's move on to news from Frater Acher, who has let us know that there is a new version of Paralibrum. But the thing that I'm most excited about in this particular post of his, of course, the two new reviews on Paralibrum sound very exciting indeed. There's a review of The Sword of Song, and there's a review of Jim Morrison's Secret Teacher of the Occult. But what I really wanted to draw your attention to was, well, do you remember last week I told you a little bit about Mutabor, the new book that Frater Acher has written and has just got bound in 72 exemplars. Well, there was no information at the time where you'd be able to get hold of those books, but now you can find out that they will be shared between miskatonicbooks.com and Courtyard Books if you are in the UK or in Europe, closer to the UK. Watch out for those two sellers. I will say that Courtyard Books are well known for taking pre-orders before their pre-orders go live, so it's actually worth calling them. This is what happened last time. They had an exclusive. Basically, they were all sold out by the time they were ready to announce that they had these pre-orders. So just be aware of that. But very, very excited indeed for this new book by Frater Acher, Mutabor, A Journey into the Goetic Flesh. All right, let's have a look. We've got news from Theon Publishing, and I told you about this upcoming news last week or a couple of weeks ago. We now have pre-orders available, and we can already go ahead and order She of the Night. So She of the Night is a 2-volume huge work on Lilith. Now, there's not very much out there of great quality on the topic of Lilith. And so I'm really hoping that we're going to get the quality that we've grown used to with Theon Publishing on the topic of Lilith. I'm sure we will. And so let's have a little read here. She of the Night stands as a monumental achievement. 900 pages, are you kidding? A true magnum opus born from over a decade of focused dedication and many more years of spiritual practice in honor of the great Queen Lilith. She of the Night transcends the concept of a meme... What? Of the mere book. It is a profound grimoire, a comprehensive compendium of knowledge on Lilith, meticulously gathered and illuminated by a contemporary magus. So we're getting some details on each volume, right? So each volume is 464 pages. Printed on premium 120 GSM wood-free ivory design paper for optimal quality. Features metallic pomegranate coloured end papers, black headbands, black ribbon marker for durability and elegance, and so on. Do have a read of all the rest here. There's also going to be an Auric edition. So the mock-up pictures are over here. I guess this is going to be the Auric edition. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. That looks so very, very good indeed. All right, but yes, I guess this is the price per book, right? Per volume. And then you've got the fine hardcover edition, which I was just telling you about over here. There we go, at 68 euros per volume plus shipping. And then there is a special bundle offer. So if you purchase both volumes 1 and 2 of the fine hardcover edition together, you get a reduced price. But there's more, folks. If you buy She of the Night, the monumental work on Lilith, you will receive Hekate Ochetos. And this is my second bit of news for today. Hekate Ochetos is also available if you're not going to be buying the Lilith books. Then you can actually purchase Hekate Ochetos by Harper Feist directly from the website. I think it's something like 15 euros plus shipping. And this is it's a short text, a 32-page stapled booklet on the concept of Hekate Ochetos. There we go, and you can purchase it directly through Theon Publishing. Let's have a quick look over here. We're delighted to announce that Hekate Ochetos, an extraordinary essay by the esteemed Harper Feist, is now available for pre-order in the 32-page booklet. Harper Feist shares a profound journey of ritual and revelation as she receives a unique epithet from her guiding deity. This captivating essay details an intimate and transformative magical working with the goddess Hekate, filled with rich insights and deeply personal reflections. And as a special offer, as I was saying, if you pre-order She of the Night, the monumental work by on Lilith, you will receive Hekate Ochetos as a complimentary gift with your order. There we go. Exciting stuff all around from Theon Publishing. Congratulations. What a lot of good stuff. Right, news from Richard Kaczynski. So those of you who know Perdurabo, which is probably the most comprehensive, the most exciting, the most accessible biography of Aleister Crowley, is now available as a audiobook. And I've had a quick listen, and it's Alan Irving narrating, and it's just lovely. It's just really, really nice. So go ahead and check out Perdurabo. I've left links for both the US and the UK Audible in the description. So yeah, go and check that out there. Very exciting stuff and very enjoyable to listen and like educational, really educational. Then we've got some news from Hadean Press. Sternutomancy, Augury, and the Art of Reading Faces by, so from the Liber Physiognomiae of Michael Scott, translated and introduced by Father Robert Nixon. This is a new guide to the underworld, and I guess we're seeing the new price for the guides to the underworld. They, of course, Hadean Press had kept those books at £3 for years. In fact, probably close to a decade, if not more. And yeah, they've had to increase the price because everything's just so much more expensive nowadays, right? Life is just, yeah, literally so much more expensive. So let's have a look. The Mysterious Figure of Michael Scott. But of course, by the way, if you go for the EPUB, it's just $1.99. To note, right? The mysterious figure of Michael Scott is shrouded in dark legend. He has come to represent, for many, the imaginative epitome of the medieval necromancer. Despite this sinister reputation, Michael Scott, a scholar, priest, and possibly a Franciscan friar, was highly esteemed as a physician, mathematician, philosopher, linguist, and astrologer. During his own lifetime, Scott's most famous and celebrated work was undoubtedly his great Liber Physiognomiae, a veritable treasure trove of late medieval wisdom and lore. And so it's the art of reading faces and various features of the face. So if that's of interest to you, of course, it's all within the context of the history of magic. Then the Sternutomancy, Augury, and the art of reading faces may be one for your upcoming stocking, possibly. There we are. A couple of books on Amazon that caught my attention this week. First of all, the Book Curses. So Book Curses by Eleanor Baker, featuring some of the most ferocious and humorous book curses ever inscribed. This is a lively, engaging introduction to the history and development of bookish maledictions. Have you ever wanted to protect your books from forgetful borrowers, merciless page folders, or outright thieves? Perhaps you have been even wished harm on those who have damaged your books, but would you threaten them with hellfire, hanging, or the plague? This book contains a collection of some of the most ferocious and humorous book curses ever inscribed. And I can tell you, anyone who's borrowed my books, you'll know what it's like to borrow a book from me. There's no curse involved, but there are some stern warnings, that's for sure. From fearsome threats discovered emblazoned on stone monuments from the ancient Near East to elaborate manuscript maledictions and chilling warnings scribbled in printed books, book curses are entertaining writings in themselves, but they also offer a tantalizing insight into how passionately texts and books have been valued by their owners and readers over the centuries. It looks very exciting. It's not out for a little while now, but you can put in your pre-orders already. April 14th, 2025. If I understand correctly, the author Eleanor Baker will be giving a talk at Watkins Books. I'm not 100% certain of this. Go and check out their social media. If you're interested in this, go and check that out. There are going to be a few places, so book your place early, all right? Next, we've got Farrelly's Field Guide to Irish Fairy Folk. Immerse yourself in the world of Ireland's ancient magic, drawing on the faded pages of his great-grand-uncle's Fantasius's notebooks. John Farrelly reveals the secrets of the Irish fairy folk, from legendary beings like banshees and shape-shifting pukas to the watchful, I'm not going to attempt that, Shay, and the ferocious something else. This field guide tells you everything you need to know about the creatures of Irish folklore and where to find them. Yeah, the pronunciation is never what you think it's going to be. So no, if I've not heard that word, I'm not going to attempt. But the book does look very exciting and very, very, very nice. Yeah, there we go. Compiled from notes by Fantasius Farrelly. Okay. There we are. Then we've got the Chiromancy of Edmond. So this book is out already. It's been out since July. I just didn't spot it. So the Chiromancy of Edmond by Heather Diane Lauvia, and Mage Edmond, excuse me. Madge Edmond, excuse me, I'm sorry. Jules Charles Ernest Billaudot, I guess. Yes, there we go. Heather Diane Lovia. La Chiromancy d'Edmond, there we go, from 1868, faithfully translated for the first time ever into English in colour and modelled, after the look of the original book. So that's very cool indeed, and that's available already on Amazon.com. However, I was not able to find it on Amazon.co.uk, just so you know. All right, and then finally, not quite finally actually, I think we've got a couple of more items. Sigrun Gregerson is talking about Freya Aswynn's rune deck, the runes of Yggdrasil. And it looks really, really nice. It seems that if you would like to get a copy of Freya's deck of rune cards, you have to get in touch with Sigrun Gregerson. Let's see, for those interested in the US and Canada, more information to come. For those in the EU and the UK, I'll be mailing decks to Freya herself, and I'll be taking names for those orders so that we have a list. The cost of the deck will be $27.50. I'll be taking pre-orders for the first run, and I'm not sold out. If I'm not sold out, I'll be listing it on my Etsy page. Let me know if you're interested in a deck, and I will message you when I'm off work this evening with more details. So if this deck looks of interest to you, and I can certainly imagine that many of you will be interested, then Sigrun's Facebook personal messages is the place to reach out to get more details there. And then this is a t-shirt that I had to share with you guys. It's just, if this was black or a darker gray or even a dark blue, I would have pounced on this. Unfortunately, it's only available in white, but I how could I not share this, right? It's just beautiful, just beautiful. It could have been the perfect t-shirt. I had to share that. And then my board game of the month is actually a board game that some of you may find interesting. It's not funded yet. They're quite far away from their funding goals, but they do have 23 days to go. They're looking for $10,000 as a minimum, right? A minimum number of pledges to be able to go ahead and make this. And just a little note for those of you who don't know how Kickstarter works: if you pledge to purchase a copy of anything on Kickstarter and that minimum number isn't reached, then the money is never taken from your bank account, right? It just it didn't happen, so it's not going to go ahead. But it's only if that minimum, in this case $10,000, is in fact reached, then Kickstarter take the money out of your bank account. So at the moment they've got 44 backers. It's called The Devil's Antiquarian, and it looks like a game that has been created by one person, and that's what the case is, right? He's a family father, and he's come up with this game. But I really like the concept here, folks. Embark on this fast-paced race to become the finest antiquarian in a dark and murky world brimming with wonders and mysteries. Open your antique shop and amass the most peculiar and potent relics, aiming to ascend as the preeminent antiquarian, equipped to vanish any malevolent force. However, tread cautiously, for the devil lurks in the shadows, ready to throw obstacles in your path. Utilize spells or strike deals with the devil to gain an edge over your rivals in this competitive arena where resource management and strategic decision-making reigns supreme. Welcome to the Collector's Alley, where every artifact tells a story and every move could shape your destiny. So let's take a little look at the game itself. I think that the campaign looks like it's been made by a guy who's doing his best, kind of thing, right? It doesn't look like the $1 million campaigns that you get for many board games. Clearly it's one guy, but clearly it's one guy who cares. I mean, the look of this, it feels antiquarian, doesn't it? And you've got these kind of nice little plastic resources. It's 2 to 4 players. Plays in 35 minutes is the claim here, and yeah, he's been working on it for 3 years. It looks kind of nice. Look at those little minis. The art on the cards is good. I think that, you know, if this was made by a one of the big board game makers, this would be through the roof. Like, people would be climbing over themselves to back this. But as it's just this one guy, it's not funded quite yet. Possibly, if it doesn't fund, hopefully maybe he'll reach out to somebody more experienced and make a more flashy campaign. I don't know, but I don't know. To me, this looks good. It looks a little amateurish, but good, right? And amateurish isn't that big a deal. I mean, it's not that bad a thing. You see that picture right there? Yes, when you look at it closely, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I can see what's happening there. It's people actually looking at a shelf at an antiquarian. But when you're kind of scrolling through, you kind of don't notice that, right? So yeah, it's just not been put together by an advertiser, simply, right? So a marketing specialist, and I think that shouldn't be a deterrent. Here's the creator with his family, and I just like the idea of the concept of the game. Right, there we go. That's what I've got for you for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button. It really helps when you do. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, then of course the Patreon is the best way to do it. It's the way that really helps. And thank you so much to everyone who is already a member. I can't tell you how grateful I am to you all. Yeah, please look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care. Bye-bye.